So my name's John Bartlett, and I'm the Executive Director of the Metropolitan Tenants Organization. We are the largest organization in Chicago that works with tenant and tenant organization in Chicago, and we deal with thousands of tenants in a year. In fact, our hotline, we have a free tenants' rights hotline open to all of Chicago residents, and we get about 10,000 calls a year. So we really have a first-hand experience of the needs of tenants out there. So I want to say there is a tremendous amount of need. Certainly we can give out basic information about what the law is, but there are frequently hundreds of tenants that are in need of legal services, that really need somebody that could go to court with them and to help them out, to get their security deposits back, to go and defend them in evictions or lockouts and all that. There is a crucial need for more attorneys. So I want to really encourage you all. I first came to Professor Rose with this idea of putting on this workshop here. Our goal is that we want to get more attorneys from the private bar involved in taking on tenant cases. Because right now, to be honest, that the legal service providers are really overwhelmed. We refer way more cases to them that they can actually take on right now. So I want to really encourage folks that there are ways that you can really help tenants out. And I'm going to just go over maybe a few of the variety of ways that you could help out. One, as I said, that we do have a tenants' right hotline. If somebody would like to come in and volunteer in our hotline and help just tenants out in their individual issues, just answer some questions and say, here's what, here's what the law says about security deposits, or you got a 5-day notice, well, if you pay the rent in 5 days, you can, that's going to stop the eviction, just things like that. Just basic information that tenants need to know. And in fact, if they would know oftentimes before they get into the eviction court, we can actually prevent a lot of evictions and that. So some of it is just giving out that information to tenants. So you can come out to our office, which is on the north side, and you can actually, for an hour or, 3 hours or whatever, just take a day, 1 day a month and come out and volunteer. That would be extremely helpful to, answering tenant questions. We also get bombarded actually with emails from tenants. So if you can't come to our office, if you'd like to take on some email things, I can forward them to you and you can just answer email questions from the comfort of your own desk and all. That would be another big assistant to tenants that are looking for information. A lot of times it is just getting the information so that they know, well, what are my options? Because oftentimes that they don't know, and unfortunately many tenants still don't, I guess, view the being a tenant as kind of a contractual agreement. That oftentimes it's just, this is the way it is, and they don't really view that. So by getting them the information and kind of helping them to change their perception of this, that would be great. Thirdly, as I said, we have a hotline, and we regularly refer tenants out to private attorneys that need help either in eviction court or to get their deposits back. We're really hoping that one of the goals is that we can expand this list of referral attorneys. So that, if you think that, I might like to take on some cases, that would be something that I could do, I want to really encourage you to sign up. I think I left business cards out at all, the table that you can pick up. I'll also give you my phone number now if you want to get back. My phone number is 773-292-4980, and my extension is 226. I also have email and that there are business cards. You can pick them up. Please let us know if you'd like to receive cases or referrals or that, and also maybe what kind of cases that you like. If you want to specialize in security deposit, let us know. Well, those are the kind of cases. Or if you like, eviction or retaliation or a lockout, if we have somewhere, if you just take anything, that's also a great way. So that's another possible way that you can get involved. Another way, and this is probably a more specific way, is that we actually go out and organize tenant associations in buildings, and we actually work with groups of tenants, because we found oftentimes that if one tenant's having a problem, sometimes the whole building is having a similar problem. We regularly need attorneys to help once again come out and talk to the tenants about, here's what the laws are, here's what the rights, and they actually sometimes go to court with them to, because the landlord may retaliate at that point because they have gotten together a tenants association, or that we may find out that in fact that the whole building, the landlord hasn't paid the security deposit back. So, it's a way of then creating some leverage where the tenants can actually get things fixed and make sure that the landlord starts following the laws. So that is yet another way. As Larry said, their office works with attorneys also, and to get them involved. So really, what I want to encourage everybody here is to think, well, you've got all this new information. And, I think a lot of information that's going to enable you to really help tenants. And so I guess with that, I just kind of want to close by hoping that, that you've received a lot of valuable information, that you've also got resources, both, as I said, that they are going to be online, everything from forms to pleadings to the other, to links to the actual laws, that if you want to ask questions, that you'll be able to figure out how to do that. So, that's part of what the goal is. And then the last part is to get you to actually do something with that to help tenants. And when I think it was Larry was saying, there's often this kind of thought that, the tenant can just move, to get out of the situation. Many of the tenants that are living paycheck to paycheck, that is really not an option for a lot of people, because it does cost a lot of money to actually move from out of a new residence. It often means that they're putting down last month's rent, and it takes them more time. So it's not necessarily an option just moving. And then if we think about how important a home is to everybody here, it is, it's really what enables us to kind of survive in this society. That if we don't live in a healthy home, that the odds are our lives won't be healthy. That they've done a study of in many of the homeless shelter providers that find that the main reason that tenants end up in shelters is because they've been evicted. So I want to encourage everybody to help, to make sure that people are able to stay in their home, because it can mean the difference between them having jobs, not having jobs, between kids succeeding in school and not succeeding in school. So besides the resource, I hope that today's program will inspire you a little bit to help tenants and to do something that it can be both, I would say, spiritually and financially rewarding. So once again, I'd like to thank all of our speakers in Loyola, and thank you all for coming, and encourage you to get involved. Thanks.